Hello, all the participants. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Okay, actually, I was conveyed through an email that there would be a compare of the session and he would run the session and I will run the question answer session. So I'm just waiting for Rowan's email or maybe he join us so that we can conduct the session. Or I don't know who is responsible to run the presentations as well. Is there somebody among the participants who know that who will be responsible to run the presentations? Somebody
Hello.
here?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, this is technical session 2B. Are you in this correct session?
This is to be.
Yeah. So all are in your correct session, or if you are not in the correct session, please switch.
I think
This is 2B. Yeah, this is 2B.
This is 1B information sources and services session, no, miss?
Yes, this is information sources and services.
Yes.
This is 1B. Yes, 1B information sources and services.
Yes, so I'm in the correct session then.
Okay, then no problem. So all the participants are here. We have like 9 presenters and
Yes.
2 session chairs. Okay. Ruvini madam, are you there?
I think I can see her among the participants as a guest.
Okay. Dr. Batul is you, no?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm Dr. Chiranti.
Nice meeting you.
Okay. Mrs. Ruini Kodikara, are you there, madam? Shall we start the session because it's
Yes, please.
yeah.
Yes, because we are already late. So I think
Yeah. So welcome to the technical session 1B, information sources and services. And our session chairs are Dr. Sida Hina Batul, Assistant Professor, Department of Information Management, University of Punjab, Pakistan. And the second co-chair is Ms. Ruini Kodikara, Librarian, University of Moratuwa, Sri Lanka. So I warmly welcome you all to this session. And Dr. Batul, can you introduce the first speaker, please?
A very good morning to all of the presenters and the organizers. I would like to thank the NILIS symposium organizers for giving us opportunity, or I must say the learning opportunity. So this is the session Information Sources and Services. The very first presenter is Mohammed Safdar. Mohammed Safdar is a PhD uh, scholar in University of the Punjab, Department of Information Management. And let me just, yes, and the topic of his presentation is uh, promoting knowledge sharing among university students, diverse role of information professionals. So, Mohammed Safdar, please continue. Safdar, are you here?
Yes, ma'am, I'm there, but I think they will play the recorded video.
Yes, we are playing the recording. Just a second, please.
I am from Central Library, National University of Sciences and Technology, Islamabad, Pakistan. I conducted the study on promoting knowledge sharing among university students, diverse role of information professionals, with the co-authorship of Dr. Saida Hinamtul and Professor Dr. Khalid Mahmood from Department of Information Management, University of the Punjab, Lahore, Pakistan. These are the contents which I will cover in my presentation: introduction, literature review, methodology, results, and conclusion. Knowledge sharing is an integral part of knowledge management. Knowledge sharing refers to sharing of knowledge within groups and institutions, and knowledge sharing behavior includes collection and sharing of knowledge. Students share knowledge with their friends and fellows, and the primary purpose of knowledge sharing is to acquire knowledge quickly and help each other. Different factors, including demographical factors, impact knowledge sharing. Such objectives to determine the knowledge sharing behavior of engineering students, to examine the difference between engineering students KSB based on their gender, and the last one to identify the difference between engineering students KSB based on their education level. Literature review. Students feel that it is necessary for them to share knowledge with each other. Literature also highlights that it is of importance to explore the possible causes of sharing or not sharing the knowledge. Various factors, including demographical factors, influence knowledge sharing behavior. Research methodology. Quantitative research was the best suited to know the state of something, and another search confirmed that survey is a group of such methods commonly used to determine the present status of a given phenomenon. This study was conducted to know about the state of students' knowledge sharing. Therefore, quantitative research approach and survey design were employed in this study. Instrument construction validity and reliability. Multi-items are adapted from existing studies to measure the concept and to develop a questionnaire for the study. Questionnaire was reviewed by 11 well-known professional experts of the country to ensure that items of the tool were relevant to content, domain, and local scenario. Pilot testing on 40 respondents was also conducted, and it was ensured that alpha value is above 0.70 for the concepts of the study. Population and sampling. There were engineering students of 10 engineering category universities located in 3 provinces and capital of Pakistan. And population of the current study was more than 10,000. Therefore, researchers collected data from 500 students to ensure maximum response. In the first phase, these 10 engineering category universities of Pakistan were divided into 10 strata as per their ranking. And in the second phase, 50 respondents were selected from each stratum using convenient sampling technique. Data collection, screening, and analysis. 500 questionnaires were posted to targeted universities, and personal visits were also made to ensure timely response. After scrutiny, usable questionnaire was 410, and we used SPSS software for analysis of the collected data. These are the results. Gender of the respondents. Majority of the respondents belong to male students, and these results are about their program level, and it confirmed that there was no statistical significant difference between both gender regarding their behavior towards knowledge sharing. We also employed analysis of variance and ANOVA test to know the difference among different program level students regarding their behavior, and it was also not statistical significant. These are the conclusion that Pakistani engineering students were sharing knowledge with frequency frequently. Students enrolled in different program level did not differ significantly regarding their behavior towards knowledge sharing, and there was no statistical significance difference between knowledge sharing behavior of male and female students. These are the references. Thank you. If there's any question, you can ask, please.
The question and answer session will be at the end of each session. So after all the presentations, it's a question and answer session actually. So shall we move on to the second presenter?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So our second presenter today is UDH Kanchana from Elite Health Science Library, Kotalawala Defence University. Her topic is about extending library services to the community by library outreach services, an institutional experience of Kotalawala Defence University. So please welcome Mrs. Kanchana. Yes.
I'm Hiruni Kanchana, representing Kotalapura Defense University. My topic is extending library services to the community by library outreach services, an institutional experience of Kotalapura Defense University. The word outreach indicates reaching the society beyond the borders of physical libraries. Various initiatives in outreach services are entered by academic libraries. When we search the existing literature, there are many studies can be found which are conducted under the library outreach services. Outreach is often described as services for those who are infrequent users or non-users, or as services for those who are traditionally underserved. This is a study done based on the outreach services of Library Network, Kotalawala Defense University, and we considered the experience reports and feedbacks of our previous programs. KDU Library Network consists of main library and 3 branch libraries. Due to the current pandemic situations, we decided to revisit on our library outreach services because we have to face different practical issues. This study aims to describe institutional experience in delivering outreach services and to make new suggestions. These are the objectives of our library outreach services: to promote and market library and its services, to improve the reading habits among the community, to promote teamwork among library staff and social responsibility, etc. By conducting several projects, we identified the process of the library outreach program, which we have to build our strategy. First, identify the need or place or end user and design the program. What kind of program are we going to conduct, and plan and evaluate. What is the depth of the program, and are we going to fundraise or not? What we are going to donate, such kind of things. And finally, we will conduct the official ceremony and then obtain feedbacks and submission the report to the university. These are the 3 projects we completed by the outreach services of the KDU: Library Development Program at Kandawala Navodaya Mahavidyalaya, Book Donation and Art Competition at the Velhengoda Mahavidyalaya, and renovation of Children Library at Gulat Sinhala Primary School. This is the library outreach logo we designed, and the 3 districts we covered with this service. And this is the first program we conducted, renovation of library building, and it was in the very poor level. So then, but we were able to develop this library in an attractive way. And the second program conducted at the Velhengoda Mahavidyalaya, and art competition also we conducted there in three categories. And the third program conducted at the Bulat Sinhala Primary School, and they had only the space with few books, and this is the situation before we handing over the project. And so then we were able to develop that library by doing many things, and then finally this is the outcome of the program. And the school selected because it is mainly focused on the grade 5 scholarship, that according to the parents feedbacks, it added more value to them. So then these are the stakeholders of our library outreach program. KDU staff and students are the main donors, and the suppliers and supervision always full support giving the higher authority of the university. Lead book was always done by the KDU, and auditing part also doing by the KDU. And some issues we identified when we conducted the program: that failure in continuous maintenance, less support from the end user during the project, and difficulties in obtaining ledger details from the end user after donating the materials, and difficulties in post-evaluation. And all the barriers occurred with the COVID-19 situation we'll have to face by us with the current situation. So therefore, we will not be able to follow the same strategy and same pattern of our library outreach services in next few years. So therefore, suggested to need to redesign the programs and conduct workshops, seminars, lecture series, or literary competitions, more focused on online mode and less priority for physical attending, and cater to affiliated institute libraries, and need to develop the proper strategy for selecting the place and for the post evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you, Hiruni. Yes. And we are hoping to give a award, the basically the best student presenter and the best paper award. So I think we have sent some marking sheets to the session chairs. Dr. Batul, did you get the paper yesterday?
Yes, I did get the paper,
Yeah.
but I will email you after this session
Yeah, sure, sure. I
because I
just
have
wanted
taken
to,
all the
yeah.
presentations and then I'll send you the
Okay.
paper.
Thank you very much. And unfortunately, our second co-chair is not here today, so probably you have to evaluate the whole thing. Yeah, thank you. Then we have another presenter line up today. SS Johoran from Main Library, University of Colombo, Sri Lanka, and Mrs. Sajivani D. Somaratna, from Library, Faculty of Science, University of Sri Lanka. Their title is on the challenges of marketing university libraries in Sri Lanka, Librarian's Perspective. So please welcome SS Johoran.
Everyone. I'm Shabnam Johar, a postgraduate student of UNIS, and I'm currently working as an assistant librarian at the main library, University of Colombo. Today, I'm going to present our paper on the challenges of marketing university libraries in Sri Lanka, Librarian's Perspective. This is the outline of our presentation today. I will be talking about the background, objectives, materials and methods, findings, conclusion, recommendation, and references used in our research study. The challenges faced by university librarians when marketing their services. If proper strategies were implemented to meet these challenges, every library might have a smooth marketing function. The objective of the study was to find out the challenges faced by Sri Lankan university librarians in marketing their services. Now I will explain you all the materials and methods used in our research study. The population of the research was academic staff members in the libraries of the 15 state universities established under the purview of the University Grants Commission in Sri Lanka. Based on the directory of the University Librarians Association issued in 2020, there were about 130 academic staff members attached to these 15 state universities. The population consists of librarians, deputy librarians, senior assistant librarians, and librarians. The sampling method considered was total population sampling. The total study population was considered as the sample. Therefore, the sample size is same as the study population, which is 130 academic staff members in the libraries of the 15 state universities in Sri Lanka. Data was collected through a self-administrated questionnaire. A 5-point Likert scale was used to measure the responses. Data were analyzed using the SPSS software package considering the mean value. Out of 130 participants, 105 responded for the questionnaire and were analyzed. The response rate of the study was 80.8%. The mean rating of perceived challenges in marketing library services by university librarians in Sri Lanka were considered. As per the results, Table 1 indicates the mean rating of perceived challenges in marketing library services by university librarians in Sri Lanka. The statement lack of networking librarians, which had a mean value of 3.5, is reported as a major challenge in marketing library services in university libraries in Sri Lanka. Librarians perceive that lack of professional networking among university librarians and libraries is the biggest challenge when marketing services. Networking among professional colleagues is a form of a marketing strategy used to promote information products and services. Lacking of such a strategy has been
Can you
identified.
please mute your microphones, everybody? It's disturbing sometimes. Thank you.
Librarians in Sri Lanka. The statement, librarians are confused about the term marketing, was not accepted as a challenge faced by university librarians in marketing their library services since it had a mean value of 2.6. It indicates that librarians are aware on the term marketing. As per the results, librarians also perceive the following as challenges in marketing their library products and services. They are inadequate funding for marketing, unaware of library user needs, lack of skills in marketing library services, and marketing is costly for university libraries. This concludes that university librarians in Sri Lanka do face some challenges in marketing their library services. These are the recommendations of our research study. While establishing a collaborative network among university libraries and librarians in Sri Lanka, we would like to recommend a marketing librarian to each university library in Sri Lanka. A collaborative network among those librarians and their respective libraries could be considered as an effective marketing strategy. A consortium of marketing librarians in Sri Lankan university libraries is recommended. Through this consortium, they will get the opportunity to share their unique marketing strategy with the sister libraries. In return, it will create a pool of ideas and resources which can be used to serve a larger community in Sri Lankan universities. It is so important to educate the university community the importance and value of a library in this new Google era. By adapting such a marketing strategy, university libraries could promote their services among their user communities. The second recommendation is maintaining separate and adequate funding for marketing library services. These are the references used in our study. That's the end of our presentation today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Chora. Our next presenter is Sakina Ali Khan from Main Library, University of Colombo, Sri Lanka, and Varuni Gangabada librarian, Colombo Public Library, Sri Lanka. Their studies on challenges and possibilities of serving senior citizens in public libraries of the Colombo Municipal Council, Sri Lanka.
Today I am going to present a study on the challenges and possibilities of serving senior citizens in public libraries of Colombo Municipal Council, Sri Lanka. Universally, the population aged 65 and over is growing tremendously. Sri Lanka also not exceptional from it. In 1946, 5.4% is the total aging population. but in 2012 it increased 12.4%. You can see here the age structure. In 1980s, it shaped the pyramid, but 2060 it will become a pillar shape. That means aging populations will be increased. We all know that public library service provision should be without discrimination. This growing segment of the older adults, last phase of life is recognized to afford new challenges, for example, declining the health, and also they have opportunities, for example, more spare time during the retirement. The library is one of the places where they can spend their time effectively and efficiently. But as a service provider, public libraries do not correctly evaluate senior citizens' needs. Therefore, this study investigates the challenges senior citizens confront while accessing services and how libraries can address the issues faced by these vulnerable groups. Therefore, this study, to achieve the objective, use the interpretive research design. The study site this study, we selected 3 public libraries based on the aging population density. You can see here Sri Colombo Municipal Council ward based on the aging proportion. One is the main library, that means Colombo Public Library was selected where aging population is low. Sri Sucheta Public Library was selected where aging population was is high. And Kotena Public Libraries where aging population is medium. And all librarians and paraprofessionals were selected for this study. In the user category, age 60 and above were selected randomly until achieve the saturated point. And data collection in this study, the in-depth interviews, focus group discussions, participation and observation were undertaken. And you can see here the general trend of the enrollment of the senior citizen, Colombo Public Libraries and Kotena Public Libraries. The charts illustrate senior citizen enrollment, Colombo Public Library and Kotena Public Library. Indicate increasing trend accepted for 2018 and 2019 in Colombo Public Library dropped due to the renovation of the entrance. Kotena Public Library female trend increase, but in male trend little drop in 2018. Well, what kind of challenges senior citizens confront while accessing the services from the public libraries? There are a lot of challenges, but here mainly I am focusing 3 challenges. One is locating information. Second one is dependency due to the physical health condition, vision, hearing, and mobility impairment, and also lack of awareness. Well, how to conquer those challenges? Public library have resources. They need to manage in proper way, then they can conquer the challenges. Once they can remove the challenges what senior citizens face, otherwise we can reduce the challenges once senior citizens face. For example, enhance resources and infrastructure facilities liaison with the relevant authorities, introduction to use education, assistive technology programs, enrich mobile services, and marketing. To conclude the session, if public libraries of the Municipal Council use their resources what they have, they may reduce or eliminate the challenges which senior citizens confront. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sakina Ali Khan. Our next presenter is WGWD Dharmatilaka from Library Universal College, Lanka, Sri Lanka. His topic is on a study of the information services in Pradeshiya Sabha public libraries from Sri Lanka.
I wish you all dear healthy life. I am Tilaka from Universal College, Lanka. My study topic is a study of the information services in Pradeshi Sabha public libraries from Sri Lanka. This is my content. What are the library information services? Already library field persons know what are the library services. However, we can define information services as any intended to provide information for the purposes of clients or users, or assist the clients or users in finding or searching for information are information services. Large numbers of people also turn to public libraries to satisfy their desire for knowledge or to obtain materials for some kind of leisure time activities. So, public libraries are very specific centers to providing information services. This is my study problem. How to use information services in Pradeshiya Sabha Public Library? Are they different according on libraries? These are my objectives. Main objective to study regarding library information services of Pradeshiya Sabha Library. Other objectives were to identify barriers to implementation of library services in Sabha Public Library and to suggesting ways to providing information services of Pradeshiya Sabha Library. This study was survey study. My population were 108 public libraries of Kandy district. I selected randomly 5 of public libraries of Kandy district. I collected primary and secondary data for study and I collected primary data from questionnaires and interviews. I analyzed data from using Excel sheet. Now I introduce usage of Pradeshiya Sabha Libraries information services. I used main 5 public library services for this study. According to results of this study, book borrowing service, user education services use satisfactory level. Reference services use middle level. And reference services and technology-based services use low level because these some public libraries haven't reference section of reference books. And these public libraries haven't technology tools to providing their services to their customers. Now I introduce results of interviews. Book borrowing service, user education service and reference services use satisfactory level. But reference service and technology-based services use low level. I introduced before, these public libraries haven't reference section or reference books. As well as these public libraries haven't technology tools. At least some public libraries haven't telephone connections. Some librarians use their own mobile phone to providing their services for their users. Now I introduce impact of providing Pradeshiya Sabha library services. Lack of funds, lack of field knowledge and technology skills of library staff, lack of low attendance for training programs. Now I introduce what are the suggestions for this study. Providing more awareness programs, providing training programs, introducing fundraising programs. Now I explain my summary of study. I studied how to use information services of Pradeshiya Sabha Public Library. I could find this library use mainly some basic information services. These public libraries users of their service based on their funds and their technology and their library staff. These public libraries, impact of these public library services, lack of funds, lack of field knowledge and technology skills like that. Providing these library information services, providing more awareness program and introducing fundraising programs are very important things. These are my reference. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next presenter is Menaka Nishanti and Nayana Vijayasundara from University of Sri Jayawardenepura. Their title is Challenges Faced in Developing the Palm Leaf Manuscript Collection in the Library of the University of Sri Jayawardenepura.
Challenges faced in developing the palm leaf manuscript collection in the library of University of Sri Jayawardenepura. Content of my presentation: introduction, objective, methodology, result and discussion, recommendation and references. Introduction in my presentation. Palm leaf manuscripts are historically valuable documents. It includes indigenous knowledge of our ancestors. Most of the palm leaf manuscripts are about language, literature, Buddhist culture, medicine, astrology, yantra mantra, fiction, custom and ceremonies. In Sri Lanka, original palm leaf manuscripts are found mostly in ancient temples and with individuals belongs to noble families. Palm leaf manuscripts are made from palm tree leaves. It contains natural organic materials. Therefore, they are naturally susceptible to be damaged. The University of Sri Jayawardenepura has a palm leaf manuscript collection which is nearly 300 to 400 years old. Objective: identify the challenges in the process of building up the palm leaf manuscript collection. Methodology: the methodology used for this study is descriptive. Result and discussion. Firstly, we establish a unit for the preservation and conservation of library material. It is a national requirement to preserve our cultural heritage for the future generation. The final step would be the digitalization of identified palm leaf manuscripts in a way that they are easily accessible to readers. These are many processes involved in between the process of palm leaf manuscript collecting and make them accessible for readers. Collecting manuscript from various places within the country, appreciation process of the donor, cost determination, cleaning, reading, categorizing, inventorying, cataloging, and digitalization of palm leaf manuscript. Forming of the committee and formulation of related policy documents were an essential task. Finding of skilled and experienced staff, infrastructure, funds and technology are the challenges came up in developing the palm leaf manuscript collection. Recommendation: it is expected that building awareness about these challenges will be beneficial for librarians, those who are interested in developing palm leaf manuscript collection in their libraries. This is our references. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next presenter is KWAM Konapola and Menaka Nishanti from University of Sri Jayawardenepura again. Their studies on user survey on the Ceylon Room collection, Library of the University of Sri Jayawardenepura.
Hello, we are unable to hear the voice actually.
Yeah, just a second, ma'am. We are trying to fix the video
Okay.
actually. Yeah.
User survey on the Ceylon Room collection, Library of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. Presentation overview, introduction, objective, research methodology, findings and conclusion and recommendations. Introduction. The Ceylon Room collection is one of the most useful collections of the Library of the University of Sri Jayawardhanapura. It consists of printed materials related to the significance of Sri Lanka. The collection consists publications of scholars of USJ, government publications, postgraduate theses, and the collection of palm leaf manuscripts. Therefore, the library is responsible to manage the Ceylon Room collection more effectively and efficiently. Research objective: to identify the user categories that mostly utilize the Ceylon Room collection. Research methodology. In, in this study, the sample was selected from three faculties of the university, including undergraduate and academics. The available library statistics were used as primary data, which is obtained from the Ceylon Room collection. Qualitative and quantitative methods were used in analyzing data. Summary of findings. Highest usage of student of Ceylon Room collection was the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. It was 78%, while least usage of student 1% was for Faculty of Applied Sciences. Majority of academic staff that used the Ceylon Room collection was from the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, 65%, while the least usage is 6% from the academic staff of the Faculty of Applied Sciences. This figure shows usage of the students about the Ceylon Room collection in the Library of USJ. According to the figure that the majority student of Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, 78% is used with the Ceylon Room collection in the library, while 1% student of Faculty of Applied Sciences have shown least usage about the collection. This figure shows the highest number of academics, which is 65% of the usage is for the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, and while the least usage is 6% is stated that academic staff of the Faculty of Applied Sciences. Conclusion and recommendations. The result of the study shows that academic staff and students of the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences are used vastly with existing Ceylon Room collection at the library, due to the reason that most of resources are local publications and low usage among the academic and student of the two faculties. There are Faculty of Management Studies and Commerce and Faculty of Applied Sciences. Recommendations to market about the CR collection among the university community. Secondly, acquire newer publications related to Sri Lanka. To conduct awareness programs to students and academics about availability of CR collection, new additions, palm leaf collection, and organization of Ceylon room collection. Ceylon room collection should be evaluated and updated continuously. These are references. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next presenter is T.R. Manu, School of Library and Information Science, Central University of Gujarat, India, and Bhakti Gala, Library, Adani Institute of Infrastructure, India. The topic is Research Data Management Service in Libraries of Science and Technology Institutes in India. Perceptions of librarians.
Myself, Manu T.R., a research scholar in School of Library and Information Science, Central University of Gujarat, India. My presentation is about research data management services in libraries of science and technology institutes in India, perceptions of librarians. A researcher have been engaging in the research activities to find the novelty. During this process, they generate the massive amount of research support data in a various formats. Research data management is an extensive process that guides researchers throughout the different stages of the research life cycle to organize, archive, and preserving a research support data for the future use. And it has been widely accepted. But in India, RDM is an emerging area. Since libraries are the major information hub for research activities, they have started to explore the importance of RDM services in the research. Therefore, it is important to examine the library's perceptions and efforts made towards the providing RDM services. Literature review. There are several similar research studies have conducted at the national and international level. The objective of the research is to study the current practices of RDM services in libraries. It further goes to find out the library's involvement and identifying their researchers' current research practices, need assessment, RDM policies, services offered, collaborations, and training requirement for LS professionals to offer RDM services. The scope of the research includes the libraries of 82 institutes of national importance and centrally funded by ministries of Government of India in science and technology discipline. Questionnaire-based survey method was adopted and findings are graphically presented. The data analysis presents that libraries in India have been started to preparing themselves to embrace this new area and extend full support to researchers by understanding their current research practices, requirements, development of policies and guidelines, and offering various RDM-related services. Also, librarians believe that LS professionals need the trainings to develop the essential skills required for RDM services. The collaboration with parent institutes and other RDM stakeholders can play a major role in establishing RDM services. As mentioned, the major findings of the research are most of libraries are familiar about the researchers' current research practices and requirements. Majority of libraries don't have RDM policies and guideline documents. A few libraries are only offered fully and partially implemented RDM services. Most of libraries strongly believe that they need the training on RDM skills and knowledge. Research Support Centers is one of the major collaborators among the other RDM stakeholders. To conclude, role of librarians and RDM in India, particularly science and technology institutes, is at a very early stage. They can play a major role in extending their research support services to researchers and faculties for organizing, archiving, and preserving research data for the future use. Though they have to upgrade their skills and knowledge going through various training programs and workshops. A conceptual framework for establishing and managing research data management services in libraries would be beneficial for them to overcome with initial challenges occurred. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our final presenter of today's this 1B section technical session, Heenam Gakur and Pooja Kumari from Department of Library and Information Science, Punjab University, India. Their studies on status of science journals in DOAJ analytical study.
The title of the presentation is Status of Science Journals in DOJ Analytical Study. Introduction. This study is based on metadata extracted from the well-known and authoritative Global Directory of Open Access Journals, that is DOJ, a database of fully open access peer-reviewed scholarly journals. Introduction. This study is based on metadata extracted from the well-known and authoritative Global Directory of Open Access Journals, DOJ, a database of fully open access peer-reviewed scholarly journals. The DOJ was launched in 2003 with 300 open access journals covering all areas of science, technology, medicine, social sciences, arts, and humanities. Open access publication can be broadly categorized into gratis open access and libre open access, which determines how the publication be used by the end users. Objectives of study. Ascertain the number of science journals and their respective countries indexed in DOJ. Determine the correlation, if any, between the journals and articles. Note the adoption of open access by the Indian journals in DOJ. Identify the language coverage of science journals. Highlight APC charges, handling fees of science journals. Analyze the status of open license adopted by science journal. Assess the year-by-year inclusion of science journals in DOJ. Methodology. To conduct this work, required data has been collected from the website of DOJ. To retrieve the journals and their further details, filters were applied for refining the results under the science. The following subjects are included in the study, that is, zoology, botany, geology, physics, microbiology, astronomy, physiology, anatomy, and mathematics. For each science journal, relevant metadata were tabulated and analyzed using the spreadsheet software in order to achieve the objectives of the study. Results and discussions. Various types of tables and graphs were formulated and they are discussed below. Table 1 shows the number of journals or documents in DOJ of journals in science. Country-wise distribution of science journals in DOJ. Indian contribution of science journals in DOJ. This graph clearly shows the Indian contribution of science journals in DOJ. Language assessment of science journals in DOJ. Language assessment of science journals in DOJ. English is the standard language of scholarly journals. So from this graph, we can clearly indicate that English is the preferred language in scholarly journals by science journals. Creative Commons licenses. So this table clearly shows various types of Creative Commons licenses. Growth trend of DOJ science journals. So this graph clearly shows the growth trend of DOJ science journals from 2003 to 2020. APC status, that is article publishing charges. So this table clearly shows the journals with APC and without APC. DOJ seal of science journals in DOJ. This table and this graph clearly shows the number and percentage of journals with and without DOJ seal. Peer review. This table shows different types of peer review used in DOJ. Study findings. So from the above tables and graph, following findings. Mathematics has the maximum number and anatomy has the minimum number of documents indexed in DOJ. United Kingdom is ranked first with 248 journals. It is reflected that the science journals indexed in DOJ are published in 32 languages, out of which English is the predominant language. 2020 can be marked as most significant year as the highest number of journals have been added in DOJ. Most of the journals do not charge article processing charges and most of the journals do not fulfill the guidelines for DOJ seal. So the paper also highlights the peer review process adopted by the DOJ science journals. Conclusion. The DOJ gave its position as the most comprehensive searchable database of free scientific and scholarly research in full text format. And as far as contribution of Indian publishers is quite low, as only 21 Indian journals are available, although the number of journals offering free downloading of their articles are much more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we had a wonderful set of presentations. So I congratulate and thank all the presenters. And now it's the time for question and answer session. So when you are answering, please unmute your mics and show your face, turn on the video. So you can ask the questions now. We have around 10 minutes for this session actually. So please ask your questions quickly. Dr. Batul, we can't hear you.
Can you
please
hear me
your...
Yes, now okay.
Okay, so thank you very much for all the presenters, and they have presented very interesting and innovative topics. So first of all, because we have only 10 minutes, so I have to rush. So first of all, Mohammed Safdar, would you like to tell that how did your study identify that the role of the librarians is diversified? So would you explain this diversification?
The role of librarians, ma'am, that is diversified in the context of...
Yes, because you said that knowledge sharing behavior compels the diversified role of librarians because the knowledge sharing behavior is very diversified. So how would you believe that what role librarian should play?
Actually, ma'am, I discussed this in the context of the services of the lab provided by the librarians working on different positions, because they have the resources and they are expected to play their role in making the knowledge sharing related initiatives successful. And this is the requirement by the relevant authorities of their organization. Therefore, I think that the role of librarians is very much important to make this initiative successful.
Yes, thank you, Mohammed Safdar. Now, I would like to ask from our second presenter, who is Miss Kanchana. Sorry if I don't pronounce the names correctly. So, her topic was extending library services. Are you here, Kanchana? Safdar,
Yes,
can
I
you
can hear.
unmute your mic?
Yes, madam, I can hear.
Okay. So, Kanchana, very interesting topic. Thank you very much. Can you please explain how did you conducted the exploratory research method? How would you define that your research method was exploratory?
Yes, madam. Actually, that is based on our
Doctor, can you
experience.
unmute your mic so
Yes,
that we can hear Kanchana?
I unmuted. And can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm just asking the first presenter to unmute the mic so that we can hear you correctly.
Yeah. Okay, so I conducted this study based on our previous experience of the institution. So then I found the facts and everything with our actual participation, actually as a participant of the process. So then I got some experience, and based on the literature and based on some studies carried out regarding the outreach services. That's why I explained like that. So most
So
of
it
the
is a literature review, Kanchana, then it is not an exploratory study. Because usually when we say exploratory, then we have to collect some empirical data. So in
Yeah,
that term,
I collected that data from the that projects when we conducted the projects from the end user and some parents and school teachers. I gathered some their feedbacks and some data and interviews conducted with them. Because of that, I mentioned that. And other than that, I study what are the studies carried out the regarding this topic to identify what is the basic background. So most of the data I emphasize based on the experience and by conducting interviews and with the feedbacks of that end user.
okay, thank you very much, Kanchana. Thank you. So our next presenter was SS Joharan and Sivni and Miss Somarat Nan. I'm not spelling it correctly. So her their study was challenges of marketing in Sri Lanka. So are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can.
Okay, so this is a very interesting topic because marketing in library and information science is a very emerging area. So, would you just explain that how did you collected the data, and did you develop any kind of instrument for collecting the data from the libraries, or did you adopted any instrument?
Yes, ma'am, I have used a self-administrated questionnaire, and because of this pandemic situation, we cannot physically go and give the printed version. So I have created through a Google form and distributed and collected the data, ma'am.
No, I mean, how did you
Yeah.
develop that questionnaire? I mean, on the basis of the literature, did
Yes,
you
ma'am. It's based on
did
the
you
literature.
have gone through the validity and reliability process of the questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am. I did a pilot study from our university, and based on that, I have implemented some questions which are suitable and removed some questions which were not suitable. Likewise, ma'am.
And then, so what are the mainly marketing services as a researcher you could say that in Sri Lanka is offering because we are in Pakistan, so we want to know that how Sri Lankan librarians are looking to the marketing term.
Yeah, ma'am. It's a new concept, and because of the academic area, there some librarians prefer that it's not suitable for academic context, and some will say that it's not good for librarians' reputation. Likewise, but that marketing is a total different concept. We have to show them what we are doing. Then only we can be in this new Google generation. So that's why it's very important in this era. Marketing is very important for the academic libraries.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so the next presenter is Sakina Ali Khan. Sakina, your study is very good and important, and it studied the challenges and possibilities of serving senior citizens. I really like the concept of getting a study on senior citizens because they usually seems to be a neglected group of the society. So it's good that you pop up with this type of topic. So would you please explain how did you collect data through senior citizens and how many senior citizens are visiting the libraries in Sri Lanka?
Actually, ma'am, that I am selecting Colombo Municipal Council area only due to my time limitation. Based on their population density, I have selected three public libraries. One is main public library is considered 1,500 enrollment. That means users are there. Senior citizen is 60 and above. And other two library, Kotena Public Library approximately 600, and other Sucharita Library they have so limited, that means 11. So because of 11, there maybe I consider there's a neighborhood surrounding the informal settlement. So they don't like, mostly prefer to only come for the reading the newspapers.
Okay.
So this is the integrative research. So I only conduct the focus group discussion in three libraries, and also I want to find out the what kind of resources the public library have. So I conduct in the librarians and para professionals.
They're mainly conducting focus group interviews and individual depth interviews until I reach the saturation point. I have selected randomly. I hope you
Okay.
find the answer.
You selected as a non-random sample. Definitely, it was not possible for you to get a random sample. That's fine, Sakina. Thank you very much. And then we have our next presenter, Dharmati Lakha, who presented on the topic study of information services in public libraries of Sri Lanka. Can you explain? That similarly that you said that you have collected some secondary data as well, or you use the secondary data. So how you use the secondary data in terms of collecting data on part of information services? What sort of secondary data you collected?
She need to mute
Can you
and
unmute, please?
Sorry for that.
Okay.
Actually, ma'am, I connected data, secondary data collected from National Library report, annual report from National Library.
Report from it. So that
Yes,
kind of a content analysis of that report, I must say.
yes, I collected annual report from National Library, annual report.
Okay, then have you collected some primary data as well from the users or to get the perceptions of those users in that library?
Yes, I went one by one library and I got 100 of questionnaires from that libraries, 20 questionnaires from for one library. That's way I used from collected data, primary data.
Then you collected the primary data through questionnaires.
Yes, questionnaires, and I used interviews librarians from their library.
Okay, so you use three methods of data collection. That must be a case study then, that you have conducted the interviews and then the questionnaires and then the content analysis of the annual report as well. So that's very good. A very comprehensive study seems to be.
Thank you, ma'am.
Then we have Manika and Nayan, who presented on the topic challenges faced in developing the palm leaf manuscripts, which seems to be a very interesting topic to me as well, because in the age of information society, we are talking about the preservation of palm leaf manuscripts. Would you please tell me that who are the users of palm leaf manuscript?
Yes, yes, we have around 500 farm leaf manuscripts. Nearly, we build up this collection. This study based on our experience, ma'am.
I mean, do you physically have the collection of palm leaves in your library, and how you preserve them?
We use physically method, and after that we're going digital preservation.
How do you do
And
that? We are in
firstly, firstly we scan our palm leaf manuscripts, and we upload our databases, DSpace Digital Library. Can't hear,
Dr.
ma'am.
Batul, could you please unmute? Dr. Batul?
Hello?
Yes, yes. There's an echo. Can others please mute?
Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I just unmuted because there was some echo and
It's annoying.
yes, it was so annoying. Okay, so I was just asking that we are interested to know that how you are managing the, palm leaves preservation in Sri Lanka, because this seems to be very interesting to know. And that digital depository you developed, and how did you maintain the metadata of that?
Miss Menaka, could you
Yes.
please answer?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Can you repeat this?
Okay, can you simply tell me that how you preserve family?
Ah, firstly, we are cleaning our palm leaf manuscript and dust remove and fill some holes and holes. After that, we are applying to Dummala Tel. It's Sinhala name.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Maneka. There is some problem of knowing info, so I think we should move to the next presenter, who is Miss. Please unmute now. Okay, thank you. So the next is KW Konpula and Manaika, I think so, if I'm pronouncing the right names. If I'm not, I'm sorry for this. So user survey on the salon room collection. So this was your topic. So I wanted to ask that why salon room is so important to be studied through research, and what are the benefits of it, and why it is so important that you have selected and you collected the data on this single salon room of your whole library.
Yes, madam. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Sorry. It is very important collection in our library from other sections. There is valuable collections relating to Sri Lanka, local publications, thesis and dissertation, palm leaf collections, manuscripts, and other things. It is most related to Sri Lanka. That is why special collection to our library.
So this is only in your library. I mean, this is sort of a rare collection in your library, or the local literature may be available in many libraries in Sri Lanka. So
Yeah.
why you are saying that this is so much important? You have something other than the other library?
Ma'am, there is a historical valuable documents are there.
Okay. So how did you collected the qualitative data on it then? You said in your presentation that you have collected some of the qualitative data. So would you please explain that how did you collect?
Uh, the data were collected, available statistics in the Ceylon Roam collection in 2015 to 2019. Daily we record statistic using students.
Oh, so
That
you use the library statistics, not the qualitative data then. Okay, that's fine then. Thank you very much. Thank you. Our next presenter is T.R. Mano and Gala. So the topic is research data management services in India. So that is very interesting and innovative topic. We recently have conducted a thesis in Pakistan on RDM. So we would like to know, Manu, that what are RDM practices currently offering in the libraries of India, and how did you have this idea to study RDM?
Yeah, may I be audible, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah. In currently in India, yeah, I can say that it's in the national level. The Indians libraries have been started to working on it. Being in the the known libraries like IITs, IIMs, and other libraries, they have a good network with the international libraries who have developed the RDM services in their libraries. Getting their practices and getting influence from them to adopt those services in the library, they have started working on it. I mean, since I've been working in such a libraries, I got influence to work on this area. And also the couple of workshops that we have conducted in the library to creating awareness on the research and management services to the libraries. And then I feel that, for knowing the large level for the Indian libraries, then conduct this survey to look at the library and interest to work on the RDM services. When we say that RDM services, it's not like a common library services. Libraries need a special skills. They have a special separate skilled librarians and also data curator, data librarian skills to knowing their current practices and understanding their willingness and also knowing their challenges. I feel that to conduct these studies for
So,
developing a.
yes, sorry. So, because this is a new topic, so did you adopted the questionnaire to collect the data from the librarians, or you have developed your own instrument?
Yeah, this is the questionnaire. It's basically it was prepared through the literature review. The one. The secondly, it's also the questionnaire have been decided by the discussion with the Indian science and technology librarians. Who have been started to working on the RDM. And also they have been working their institutions, librarians, they know their researcher mindset, they know their librarians practices. It's been examined like that, yeah, though it's accepted by, taken from the international literatures and bringing to the Indian context, we had discussion with a couple of librarians and a couple of the professionals and also a couple of the faculties who are keen to interest on this, and then we have adapted this questionnaire.
Thank you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So this is, I think, are we done with all of the presenters? Or yes, the last one. This is Karkur Kumari. She explored the status of science journals in DOAJ. So yes, so you have conducted this unique study on DOAJ in the discipline of sciences. So what do you think that on the basis of your study findings, what are the implications for librarians in India probably?
Ma'am, the number of journals in DOJ from India is very less. Only 21 journals are in DOJ from India.
So what the librarians need to do then? I mean, what is the role of librarians? Because they are not supposed to start a journal. So what actually their existing role is to be very much in the limelight of DOAJ. What they can do that? Uh, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes, we can hear you, doctor.
Yes, ma'am. Can you please repeat the question? Okay.
I'm just asking that what your study implicate, that what should be the role of Indian librarians in building up the science journals in DOAJ? Because you said that the percentage is very small. So how the librarians can play their role in increasing the percentage of science journals in DOAJ? Still you're unable to understand my question? I think maybe she is unable to hear me, or maybe she is unable to understand my question. So can we wind up now?
Yes, it's better, no?
Yes.
Yes.
So
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Batul. And I think Mrs. Ruvini Kodikar is also here now. So anyhow, I would like to thank the session chair, Dr. Batul, and Mrs. Ruvini Kodikara for your support and intellectual insight. Thank you so much. And
I
all the
would like to
presenters.
say one last thing.
Yeah.
I would like to congratulate all of the participants who have presented their dedicated work in this National Symposium of Sri Lanka. And I would like to congratulate NELIS Symposium organizers. They have virtually provided a very learning platform to all of us. And all the papers are very good, and the presenters have came up with some indigenous problems and challenges, and we had a chance to hear from the different countries of South Asia. So I must say that the presenters should work more on the methodological side of the research, because this is very much important when you are claiming that you have conducted a research study, and you are not coming up with the study contributions and with the study methodological justifications. So I think if we improve that, then we are able to present very good at international levels. So all the presenters have did a very great job. So I must congratulate all of those.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can you all turn on your video so we can have a screenshot?
Yes, that's wonderful.
Yep.
All the presenters, can you please turn on your cameras just for a while so that we can have a picture of our session?
Yeah. Okay, I think it's enough.
Don't need to turn on your mics, just the camera.
Right. Thank you very much, all of you. And this announcement is for the presenters actually. Could you please send your name and title of your name and title for your certificate actually. You have to send it to the symposium email address. That is one announcement, and we are going to start the next session, session number 2. So please join those sessions. I would like to see you there.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for managing it.
Thank you.